Mm. Hey, God's eagle eyes. Mm. Oh, I woke up with this low vibration. Mm. Today is Monday, the 14th. I know it's after 12 o'clock noon, 2024. Mm. um, I had already gotten up and washed my face, brushed my teeth, freshen up, and did my praise walk. Get my walk in, walk around my apartment. Praise in. I just finished reading my Bible. Like I said, I told you I'm reading it like a novel. I'm in the Old Testament. When the ark returned to Israel, I'm on chapter 6 now. I just finished reading this. And in the New Testament, I'm on Luke chapter 4. So I've already, my Old Testament, I'm just reading it like a novel. Started with Genesis, and I'm just reading it like whatever God lead me every other day or whatever. It was my mom's Bible. Old Testament has 39 books. New has 27. It's my mom's Bible. She was doing all of this. She was doing all this reading. I remember. So I'm reading King James Giant Print, Words of Christ. I also got the other Bible. That can break it up and explain things. Ooh, I'm tired, y'all. After I did my videos and stuff all night and uploads, I did some of my researches and listen to other YouTubers. It's a push. So I'm grieving right now. That's what this mental health challenge site is about. It's about my experiences, living with bipolar 2 disorder, grieving, and menopause. I woke up, I had to turn the air on a little bit. I go through hot and cold flashes, and then I just turned the air off. I did my meditation and read my Bible. I'm on low vibration because I'm tired. Haven't taken my medicine yet or eaten. I don't take my medicine on an empty stomach. Excuse me. Mm. I am going to take another nap, though. Because I'll be up all night uploading, you know, as a content creator. Dreams, are you all a dreamer? I know I'm a dreamer. And, mm, where I grew up at on the west side, Bankhead and Holly, the house that I grew up in, my mom and I went back to live with her parents, my grandparents, after my father died when I was 5. He had a heart attack at the wheel. Going I-20 East in Atlanta. And he was a deputy sheriff for Decatur. So, like I said, my mom died 2 years ago, 86. You'll hear me talk about that all through the vids, different vids, and it's a lot of people grieving of a lot of things, not just loved ones, of what's, grieving of losing jobs and relationships and, excuse me, marriages. Some people, divorces is like a death. And mm, grieving. I'm just allowing myself to grieve. It's been 2 years later. I'm still on the fast and praying. But I have to have some in my stomach, so I'll be eating rice and corn, as a vegetable. Then I drink water. But a fast could be, for a couple of days or a week or so, without meat, stuff. God be in control. You just gotta have the faith. I'm sorry, excuse me. I have sinus and sinus and allergies. It's a pretty day out there. I see the wind blowing. I'll be going after a while so I could take my trash out. Mm, 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 mm. Um, I'm in Carrollton, Georgia, hour from Atlanta. Mm, this is my journey, living with bipolar 2, bipolar, disorder. Mm-mm-mm. Kind of turning. Ooh, so just sometimes do a little exercise to loosen up. Back feels stiff. I have arthritis in my spine. But you gotta keep going. I pray to God about these different dreams I have, and this one was very pleasant. When I was a little girl, on Bankhead and Holland. Um, I used to get out the bed with my mom and go in there and sleep in between my grandmama and granddaddy. Ooh, lay in the bed, especially after I probably peed in the bed. I get up, wash up, change clothes. You know, you have to. I knew to wash up. Probably was like six something or five, six, probably six. I remember seven, 6 or 7. Wash up and then change clothes. And I let my mom know. So she stayed on her side of the bed. You know how you have to change the sheet and wipe it. Oh, I go in there and lay between my mom and my grandmama and granddad. They came to me in the spirit. My grandmama and granddaddy. I was asleep. They came to me. And I thought I was laying in the bed with them. This time I laid in front of my granddaddy. So he was laying in between me and my grandmother. I could feel him. He was just laying there. So when I'm going through something, they come to me in dreams, you know. Mm. I was a daddy's girl, so I was daddy's girl, granddaddy girl, and I'm laying up under my granddaddy. My grandmother was on the other side. It was such a sweet feeling of the dream I had because I just woke up from the dream an hour ago. So then I had this crazy dream, like things were following behind it, and I thought I was with my ex-husband. I mean, I dream about them a lot too. I don't know. They say it could be in your subconscious mind. You think of them. Excuse me. So I thought that we was somewhere in the house, and I had $10 or $11 or something in my hand, and I thought I got in the car. It was an older car. Looked like the top was back, and I was driving up to the house on Bankhead. It was at night, and I could feel danger around me, evilness. It looked like I was so sleepy and tired. I was already feeling that, in the physical, and then, uh, and in the dream, I thought I pull up by the house on Bankhead, and it was a lot of put up where the bushes was at, Excuse me. And then I kind of was falling asleep in the car. The house was pitch dark. And when I drove up to pass the house to make a right back on Bankhead, um, the only light was on was it looked like it was my grandparents' room. It was the whole house was black dark. It was my grandparents' light was on. She died in that room in that house. I dreamed a year before she died that she was gonna die in her bed in the room, her bedroom. And I think when I made that right to see in front of the house, yeah, the light was the only one on. Out that whole house was dark. And I thought also I was there as I am now, and my hair was real long. And my cousin that is living now, or maybe I don't know, because I hadn't talked to him in a while. One of their grandchildren, he kind of stuttered when he talked, David, and I wonder how he doing. So I don't have a way to contact. I just can talk through another family member, but yeah, mm, they call him preacher man, but they grew up in a way where it was some strong surviving, strong. And I get it, I understand. But in the dream, he was like, "Hey, Paula," and he was there to see, his grandparents, which is my grandparents. His mom was my aunt. Oh, that was my mom's sister. My mom's sister had 6 boys, 6 girls. So most of them dead now. They always lived in Decatur. So anyway, he came there to see my grandparents, and I really the house on Bankhead was really a 2 bedroom house. It looked like when you walked in from the front door, it was like a shotgun way, but it was really big and it curved around. But when we came back to live with, them, they turned the dining room, another part of the dining room, into a bedroom for me and my mom to live in. And um then they turned the other part of the living room to my grandparents' bedroom. And then it had French doors that opened up and went to the big part of the living room that had a chandelier, fireplace, and it was just one of them older red brick houses. And there was a lot of people always neighbors, and so they always was curious about that house. I heard that when it did get renovated, these old nosy neighbors, they came through there, and they had some family members that came in there. And, when my uncle would get sick, he bought the house for my grandparents, but after they died, he moved back in the house. And when he would get sick, he would live with my other uncle. But the neighbor's family member, they came over there, and you know, they was on drugs and stuff, and they ramshacked our house, our family house. I was married to my second husband then, so um, that house has a lot of good and bad memories. I'm sorry, excuse me. I had blew my nose earlier, so um, had to forgive him. had to forgive them because we all grew up, went to the same schools, but now God had have parted me from them again. We had came back together, you know. Uh, but anyway, it's amazing when you would hear your parents speak of someone and then your children end up growing up together and playing together. It's amazing what the parents go through with other parents, but the children grow up together playing. Mm. And then when the children get older, then they actually really realize what the parents was talking about back then, you know. You never know when you move somewhere how your neighbor's gonna be, you know. I was so glad when I left there though. I was just glad to really get out the area and just start over. So that's how we ended up over there on the southwest side. Just got tired of a lot of shit, you know. So now the white people trying to investors they coming back to uh get that side of town now. They done been changed the name to Donna Lee. And they rebuilding and everything, and so all of us has left that area. Some was still there, but some people have gone because they parents died and left them the house. My uncle wanted to leave me the house. Too many good and bad memories there. It's just too many memories. And plus it had, mice and stuff, We always had a mice problem and rats up under there. But it was a beautiful home though. It was one of them old neighborhoods. It used to be all white. And when my uncle, I'm sorry, who had the family, took over the family business, when they went to buy the house, in the clause it said, um, that white man left a clause in his will or something of the house saying that they didn't want no black person to move in. So, and that was history. My uncle was able to get around that clause and bought that house for my grandparents, his parents, my mother parents. A very nice house, old house. And it was the family house because they lived in that house before I was born and before my mom was married. Because my dad died when I was 5, so it was 1970. Oh boy. So my mom married out. My dad 12 years older than her. Anyway, um, I was in the house. I've always loved the French doors to her bedroom. It opened up to go into the living room. From the living room, it had French doors to go through in the hallway. It's amazing how you can have people that's been interested in your stuff, in you, all your life and you didn't even know it. Like I say, you got to be careful as people low keyed in competition with you, you know. So for them to want to see the house when they was remodeling it, it was something probably whatever their grandparents were saying, you know. They wanted that house, you know. But you know what's for you is for you. They could never get it because their spirit was so corrupted. That's why I said yesterday in the other video last night, you know, chosen ones, you know, a lot of people ain't going. It's you think that you can do harm and do dirty and do ugly things to people and you still think you're gonna be blessed. And without repenting, I repent every day, all day. Thoughts, anything, I repent. I confess my sins and I say I repent whatever I said, done, thought about or dreamed of. And I bind those spirits up and I send them back to the center, to the pits of hell, whatever it was, the center. And yeah, their house went through a lot. People just kept attacking. And even to this day, that house still up, was remodeled, but still original. I got to see it. Bought my baby girl there when she was in high school. She was able to see it. And it was very nice. But I believe the white guys that was there to let me in were squatters. I really believe they said the church had them to be there so nobody wouldn't break in it while the other owner was getting ready for it. And that was a good idea. And so God was able to let me get in there and see the house. It looked real nice because it got to the point when, you know, before we left out of there, when my grandparents died, she had a leak, you know, in her bedroom when it rained. And we needed a what you call it? Mm, you know, on top of the house, a roof. So it was a lot of mess about that. But anyway, um, I had to walk in forgiveness. You know, I was mad with him for 10 years. I knew, and nothing you can do about it. You know, I mean, that's material stuff. But they didn't touch my grandmama room. They didn't even touch it. But anyway, like I was saying, I really enjoyed the house when I did. I always played in the living room, sit on the sofa, listening to the radio. And I kept in the dream opening up the French door and say, okay, grandmama, granddaddy, it's time to get up. You know, that's what I was saying in the dream. I don't know. It looked like I was different right there. I mean, my hair all down, my shoulder and everything. Well, my hair used to be down when I was younger, but it seemed like I was an adult, you know. When I had opened up those doors in the dream now, French doors. I said, okay, grandma and granddad, come on, let's get up. Yeah, your loved ones visit you in the spirit. I don't care what folks say, especially when it's a sweet, pleasant feeling, very sweet. Your loved one, and especially when you're going through something, they'll visit you and comfort you. in your dream, you know. So that's what that was. It was so real. I was laying up there in the bed with my grandmama and granddad like I used to when I was a little girl. You know, my grandfather was a Baptist reverend, and and my grandmom, they were deacon and deaconess as well, Mason and Eastern Stars and stuff, but they were the same complexion I was, and it's so down to earth. My grandma was a housewife. I used to have my friend that another friend of mine I grew up with. She's in a group home right now. Bless her heart. She's like a year older than me, but she used to come over and have dinner with me every day at 7 or 6. I don't know what time it was. Because I didn't want to eat by myself. It was great company and it was a blessing. And she said she would always say, get to knowing your grandparents. It was such a blessing. And she was like, because I didn't have no grandparents. And come to find out, mm, they didn't have food to eat. And it was such a blessing to have her to eat with me because I liked it, to have someone to eat with me. And my mom was at work at the, shoe shop. So when she get in, my friend, Jack had to be already gone, because my mom had strict ways. She's always believed in us being in the house before dark. So when she get in from work, she, you know, I've been an 8 and everything. My grandma would keep me. But it was just such a sweet feeling for my grandparents, for me, and another black man now own that house. But even since then, I pass by there because I go to the Good Samaritan up from there. I've been going there for 9 years, and it was a whole bunch of police, a whole squad there at the neighbor's house, and one was up on my grandparents' porch. And it's just so bad over there. People still trying to. It's just something about my grandparents' old house. It is always something where people try to break in. I'm so glad my family and them don't live there no more. And I'm so glad I said no to having that house because my uncle wanted to leave me that house. His son didn't want it or have time for it, you know. And people they try to count your pocket, as they call it. When you tell them the houses you bought and been in and all of this, they're like, why you didn't keep it? Use it for this and that. It's real estate. It wasn't that time. I didn't have the income still to be keeping it up. When people live in houses and stuff, things break down and sometimes that be on you. Most, especially if you renting from I don't know, it's just different rules. I know one thing with my mental health, with my mind at that time and even now, you know, I didn't want to be bothered with that. And I went on that mindset. I went on that mindset, so I don't know what God got in the future for me to get. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what do he want me to ever uh, do any more real estate, be in the real estate or whatever. I don't know. I'm just being whatever God want me to be. I know one thing. I want to enjoy my life. The last day, the rest of my life that I'm here. You can't do anything by yourself. And my children, they got their own dreams and legacy. And I'm glad. But yeah, but it was so beautiful for them to just for me to lay there with them and for us to just visit each other. And I just never forget just opening the doors and walking through from her room to the living room. I used to always do that as a little girl. Mm, God is so good. I just can't get over the fact how I was, just laying there with them. It was so comforting. And that's what happens when you go through things. I know you all, I know it's not for everyone, but I know some of y'all can relate, chosen ones, God's eagle eyes, your loved one, the one, that loved you the right way. I ain't talking about nobody touched you in the wrong way. Because back then there was a lot of different stuff going on. That's why my parents were so strict on me because even back then, back in the day when my grandma was growing up, I understand it. She got molested and stuff like that. So I never, you know, uh, had to went through that, something like that. Um, my grandparents, I had, they smothered me with love, you know, they smothered me with love, but sometimes smothered love can handicap you as well. Because, see, let me tell you something. Everybody don't feel that way about your children the way you do. Everybody don't feel that way. And if they saying it, I don't care if it's family member, they lying at times. They lying. Everybody don't feel that. My mother said, my grandmama used to say, raise your children for other people to like you. Everybody didn't get to raise their children. But when you do get back with them, and stuff, that's the time and you start right there. And there's just joy the rest of the time in there. I know somebody right now they didn't raise their children, they went through a lot, but now, we're the same age, and I think it's beautiful that they have a beautiful relationship. But does it take that you well, it's none of my business. It's just I think it just kind of like if you're around that person and everybody got a certain rapport with their children, whether they raised them or not. And I can understand that because see, I don't have to live with that. But what kind of triggered me and get on my nerve at times, I was around someone like that. And when you just visit, have some respect of grown people, you know, have some respect. And if we not around, even though the children are grown, They calling all every 5 minutes. They even while you talking your personal business, they got the phone on. They got the phone. They still on the phone. Why do people still talk to people and still have the other person on the phone like that, holding the phone? You hear the conversation. I mean, that's different when all three of y'all, or four or five of y'all, talking together with that person in that conversation. But if that person is not in that, I don't care what age they are, whoever they are, if they're not in that private conversation with the other person, then don't have that phone on with people, with someone on there listening. You know, sometimes I wonder about people, and they get mad when you don't want to be around them. Every time you turn around, they children or whoever, what grant, whatever is in their face, and you're trying to visit that person and may need to talk to them personally. You be trying to talk to them, and they still, My mom, when I was growing up, I was like I said, I was always around grown folks. I'm an old soul. And my mother, if she's talking to someone, if she brought me with her, because she'll be making a delivery with Mary Kay, and she'll brought me with her, she wants me to still be right there with her because she don't like for me to run all over people's house. And so she would be talking to me and she used to spell it out and stuff. If she would talk about something, I remember she was like, yeah, HEE and NKA, like that. And it tickled me. And then when my mom used to have company would come or somebody would come by and to talk to her, she'll say, okay, Paula go in there with grandmama, you know. They keep, the children. I never forget that. I'd be like 6, 7, 8. These days, honey, they got the kids all up in grown folks' conversations. That's why, I understand, I get it. Sometimes I understand why our children don't respect us. We do too much in front of their face. I'm guilty of that too. I've been guilty of that until I realize and I know better. I take full accountability, you know. You know. And people say, yeah, things are different now. We don't raise our kids the way you all were raised back then. But that show was a set foundation, I tell you that. But yeah, that was a beautiful visit. That felt so nice. They was just, when you have somebody, a loved one, come back and visit you like your grandmother, if you were close to whoever in your family, a loved one, because I know some people have had bad, experiences with family members, grandparents, uncles, aunts, and stuff, or might have been whatever molesting stuff. I understand, I get it, but when you have a loved one, and it don't even have to be a blood, come and visit you after they passed and gone, and they loved you like they own or whatever, when you are going through something, God actually is an angel, but it looks like them because it's comforting. It wasn't number angels. I know it wasn't literally my grandparents, but it was angels disguised as my grandparents, and it was so loving. It wasn't nothing demonic about it. You know the difference. Now I've had plenty of dreams that I was in the house in Bankhead, and these black entities came and tried to kill me in the dream, and my mother was laying across the bed dead. That see, that was just demonic. All that was going through, and as if it was at the house I was growing up in. That was very demonic. And when you have demonic entities attacking you like that, I can even feel the presence of the evilness. That's another video. That's another video. Chosen ones, get ready. Because I'm getting ready to get into some deep spiritual realm stuff. This is not, I repeat, this is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. It's not. It's not for everybody. Well, I gotta put something on my stomach and take my medicine for the day. Well, for the it's supposed to be morning medicine, but I can still take it. And then my night medicine, I could take it 12 o'clock at night. Long as it's like you going to bed, but I know I'll be up because I'll be doing uploads and stuff. I appreciate you supporting and relating. We're in this together. I know some of you all experienced this. I know you have. And it's okay. You're not crazy. I've experienced this ever since I was a little girl. And a lot of you all have too. That's why God have you on my channel. I'm just trying to see which way God going with this. Because that's what I do with spiritual awakening. God help me to do spiritual awakening. But I will touch a little bit on it later on in the next video today, okay? So thank you for listening and supporting. Yeah, it's okay. Jesus love you, and I do too.